Hi, thank you for joining me for Shell's Pearls of Wisdom. I'm here with another pinup beauty. Her name is Caitlyn, but she goes by AKA.
Knuckles.
I love the name. I love
Thank
it.
you.
Sounds like you're a fighter there, Knuckles.
I am it. I've had the name since I've been very young.
That's awesome. So I've been talking to Caitlyn a little bit off camera, and she's kind of shared with me a lot of her story already, and I think this is pretty interesting because she is a pioneer woman. She does own a couple of her own businesses, and she is the only woman in Wisconsin that runs her own car show for the last 6 years, which is really awesome because that is a male-dominated field, and she's over here killing it, doing her own thing. So we'll get into that a little bit later in the show, but I did want to put that out there that she's a badass and I love it. She has an attitude to boot, and I love that too. So I'm looking forward to hearing her pearls of wisdom at the end because she said it's going to be a doozy. So I'm excited to hear what that is too. So go ahead and start. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Again, there's not really much to tell. What you see is what you get, which is a very mouthy broad, a very gung-ho at what I do, and I don't take crap. But I am in Wisconsin, born and raised, run my own businesses, and basically just do me during the day and do family and do the rest of the stuff and make this house that we bought a home and work on it because it's old.
Well, that's awesome. So just to kind of give a little bit of background, even though Caitlyn has like the most positive attitude, which I've always noticed, I have not got to really spend a lot of one-on-one time with her, but I did meet her at one of my pinup competitions, and she is larger than life with personality. She is a non-nonsense taking kind of person. I follow a lot of stuff on Facebook. It's pretty interesting. But that's what makes people I think love her is because she is kind of just like tells it like it is, keeps it straight. But I did find out something today that I did not know that we actually have in common was that you are a diabetic and you are
Yep.
an insulin dependent diabetic.
Yep.
I did not know that. So I know you told me that you've always kind of been like the controlled diabetic. I know for myself how I felt when I found out that I was diabetic. Did you have any part of yourself where you're kind of like, oh, this is just, I hate this. I don't want to take the shots. I don't want to, or did you always just kind of fall into the role?
No, I think because when I was diagnosed, they had to transfer me right to Children's Hospital, which in Wisconsin, you have to take classes there about being a diabetic, all this. I even helped mentor some kids when I was in high school, teaching them about diabetes and stuff. But I think what put it in perspective for me is when you're in a hospital that young, there are other kids there that have it so much worse than you. I know my mom was like, yay, I get to give you shots for 2 weeks. And I was just kind of like, nope, you're done. Don't touch me. I can do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I was her oldest, so I don't know if that was like harboring her oldest angst.
Mm-hmm.
But no.
Okay, good. Now you said you've only been hospitalized like maybe twice in your whole life, which is
Yeah.
awesome. That shows that you have a good control over the disease. Um, with that being said, have you ever had a moment in your life? I know I kind of drive myself a little crazy when I think about it. It's like passing the gene on to your child.
Actually being somebody who actually considered going as a school for a diabetic educator, I find out that sometimes it isn't genealogy at all. It actually has to do with traumatic events or like a traumatic accident. So that could have been my birth. That could have been the 2 car accidents I was in very young that started it because nobody else has it in my family.
Okay. Yeah, I have a girlfriend that I work with that had a really bad infection, a viral infection that left her when she got better, left her pancreas compromised, and that's how
Yeah.
she became like a diabetic. So that is very true. Okay, so we're gonna go kind of like jump ahead. Like she said that she had a pretty like normal childhood, but then she got to high school, and high school was a little bit more of a, in her terms, these are her words, a waste of time. So
It
it's
was. It really was. And I think I don't have any regrets actually growing up or doing the typical college or high school angst. I really don't, because it led me to my life now. If I wasn't a problem, I think for some of my teachers in high school, I wouldn't be the person I was. I'm very, let me get my stuff done. Don't bother me. If you're going to say something or get something wrong, I'm going to correct you. And I'm not correcting you to be mean. I'm correcting you to be educated. I'm not doing it to be mean, even though sometimes I sound like it. It was just honestly a waste of time. I transferred midway because we moved, and I literally was looked at like this squeaky teen little valley girl, which I wasn't, because I grew up on the south side. I already lived there. I just transferred. And I really felt like I could have focused more on my dance career and just continued to be homeschooled, because I felt like it was a really waste of time. I felt like I was repeating things that I already learned in the 8th grade. Like, sophomore year reading the Scarlet Letter, but I already read the Scarlet Letter in 7th grade.
Right.
So, I mean, most I had to do was go get my old paper and redo it with high school, bigger words and adjectives.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
basically what I did.
with you mentioning your dance career, I want to know a little bit more about that. What type of dance did you specialize in?
I was in ballet. I was in character and jazz and hip hop, but mainly ballet. And I was part of the Milwaukee Ballet Company. I actually performed twice in the Nutcracker here with the ballet company. And I did it until I was about 22. And then I tore my ACL and MCL. And,
Oh.
but, if any true words didn't come through for my grandmother, a dancer's legs and ankles are only as good as they take them. Because once that happens, you're kind of out. But I still dance. I still go to classes. I still do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I fully enjoy.
Yeah. So, wow, that is, I mean, like I said, I'm just learning stuff all about you, which is just amazing, because you don't get to know this kind of stuff when you just like, it's from the surface. You don't get to dig deeper. So ballet, that is like a really, really, really tough dance. It's actually one of the most difficult to learn.
Yep.
I can't help but wonder, when you had this traumatic injury that basically took what I'm sure you loved to do.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
I didn't like going to a college that was 3 levels, on crutches.
Yeah.
But, I learned my stuff. I did my stuff. Dance was just my minor in college. And I went to school for teaching, and that didn't work out. I couldn't stand other people's high school children. And I left, and I kind of haven't looked back. And I developed my own stuff, did my own stuff, and just moved forward, because I don't think I was ever supposed to be in a confined box.
Right. It
I
seems like you're too
never,
much of a free spirit. Do you have, I mean, just because this is just me being the devil's advocate, just like listening to your personality and kind of talking to you, do you think you're kind of like a little bit of like an a-hole? Or would you not care? Like,
I would be the first person to say I'm a dick.
Okay. I love it.
I'm a dick, but I'd rather be the asshole to my friends versus everybody being like, no, this decision you're making is totally okay. I'd rather be the friend being like, all right, push the brakes.
Right.
What you're doing is kind of like hurting you and hurting people around you.
Right. So you rather just be honest.
I'd rather be an honest friend and just tell people what it is.
Do you think your delivery is always received well, or do you think you could be a little bit softer?
My delivery is usually received really well until you make me become the worst person I am.
And what is that person?
Just a heightened version of this, honestly.
I always tell people I almost have like a split personality. Like, you can get the lovable, Shelly.
No, my split personality is me on business phone calls. That's when I scare people. Because then it's, hi, how are you? Thank you for calling. Yeah, it's the typical office boy. It's scary. It scares my husband.
So this is awesome, because now I have so many questions I have to build off of this. Have you ever had a moment where, whether it was business, personal, pleasure, whatever, where you needed to tell someone about themselves? and it was just not received very well at all. And you really didn't mean it to go that way, but it just turned into something that's not what you expected.
No, I turn that way when I mean to turn that way. If I have to get my point across, then yes, I
What
will
is your
finally look.
biggest trigger topic if somebody talks about that can really get your butter biscuit, your biscuits buttered? What would be that
Buddy of
topic?
biscuits, baby. Honestly, there's a few. I think
Everybody has a
like
hot topic. I know I have a hot topic button pusher. That,
I think some of my favorite is take this and I'll cure diabetes, and I just sit here and I'm like, when you're type 1, that's not how it works. There's different types. Or being in a male dominated part of my life, my favorite is when guys look at me and goes, right, sweetie, but where's your husband, the guy who actually runs this? And I go, no, I'm that guy. You just forgot the WO before the man.
right.
You forgot the WO.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are kind of like my hot triggers.
Yeah. So how does it make you feel when a guy like basically puts you down because you're just a woman in a man's world? What?
Well, I was taught by my parents and my grandparents, never to let anybody treat me like that. So I usually extend my hand for a handshake, and then they can learn I can shake a hand like a man. And I usually kind of stop it right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, if you would like to cause an issue, there is the exit. You can get in your car and leave.
Yeah.
You're not here for the nonprofit car show. You're here solely to win an award. You're not here to enjoy the day with everybody else.
Right. Right. Okay. Awesome. So you met your husband when you were 21, so you were kind of young, and you got married
Yeah.
at 22.
Yeah.
And you told me that you guys have been married for 12 years now.
Yep.
How is marriage life when you are still like trying to be you and still kind of, I feel like you kind of want to wear the pants a little bit too. Is there
No,
ever,
we're
no? Okay.
we're a partnership, and he's actually in the military, so it's been a partnership because my first year of marriage, he was overseas. Pregnant, he was overseas, raising a 6-year-old, not seeing her dad overseas. So he married me because I can handle myself, and I'm like this. I don't need to be that wife when they're somewhere that's crying, moping. No, like life goes, let's go. Like life is still moving. We still have things to do, still things to need to achieve on this side. Let's go. So that's just, we're both ourselves. We both work in, different careers. They mesh well, but at the same time, we're totally doing our stuff. And at night, that's our time. On our days off, that's our time. And I usually go, black on the internet, or I take a few days away not to do anything.
Have you ever found it a struggle to be a military's wife?
A little bit when I worked and did some volunteer and some civilian work for them. And that's because I was dealing with other wives. And I love military women to death, but I have a hard time when my phone rings at 2 a.m. because you miss your husband, because I'm in the same boat with you, sweet pea.
I was going to ask that, like, how is it? Because even though I know you're not a single parent, but a lot of times you have to be a single parent because if he's not there, he's not there. Did you ever find it rough or tough to just kind of pick up everything and do everything on your own when he was deployed?
No, absolutely do not. I had my day with my kid, 1 or 2 days with my kid to acclimate her. Then it was, nope, let's go. Let's get this done. We have to get this done.
Yeah.
I mean, if I wasn't so secure in myself, I never would have got a puppy halfway through a deployment. So, I mean, puppy is like having another kid.
Yeah, that's
I have
true.
animals. I have animals. So,
That's awesome. Um, is he deployed right now? Or is he home?
no, he's home and working his civilian job right now.
Perfect. So your daughter, how old is she now?
She is 10 going on 40.
I was gonna ask you. I asked about your daughter because you did express to me that even though you're in the pinup scene, you're not an active pinup, meaning like you don't do the contests, you don't do that part of the
Right.
pinup
I mean,
world.
this is how I dress. I dress very, like I say, I have like 5 looks. You're going to get rockabilly and pinup normally, and then you get my 80s band rock glam t-shirts, and then you get a 12-year-old homeless boy and a hobo some days. So it's what you got. I mean, it really, don't expect me to look pretty the week before the car show.
Right.
I'm home working. I don't think that what you said of being an active pinup because of contest is actually meaning you're non-active.
No, I meant more like when I interviewed the other girls in the scene, they've all can account to when they won their first crown or when they did their first contest. So that's what I mean when I say
Yeah, and there's nothing against that. And I am usually at my friend's contest.
Yeah.
I run my own contest. But when I have a 10-year-old and she is in the scene, just like everybody else, she loves cars. She knows carburetors. She loves bikes. She knows pinstriping. She loves pinstripes. She dresses very rockabilly with like a spin of Tim Burton into it, you know, like Nightmare Before Christmas, Beetlejuice. But I mean, my own child doesn't even play with Barbie. She played with Monster High because they were all different.
Yeah.
And I want that. I want her to continue to be the strong girl she is.
That's kind of where I was alluding to. You actually went to where I was actually trying to get to.
Right.
Why? Yeah.
And the reason because that is she knows a lot of pinups. She is very good friends with them. Like when I'm on my business Zoom calls, they all want to say hi to her and they'll talk to her. She is a wild card. She is very wise above her years. But being at 10 and the way society is, like with 12-year-olds, I mean, I'm sorry, you shouldn't be doing your makeup like that at 12. You need to be living through the worst lip balm and glitter spray there is. If I had to do it, you have to do it.
I remember lip smackers. That was my lipstick back in the day. Lip smacker. Gave you like a hint
and
of
our perfumes like came in like baby soft and like
very musk, very like soft and
bottles,
yes.
Gummy bear spray bottle. So you need to smell like the worst type of gummy fruit there is out there. And that's what you do, because I don't need her looking at all these people and thinking that her only self-worth is going to be a crown.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we all have our own crowns and our own terms. You know, and I feel like if you haven't won a pinup contest or you want to know what a crown is, go on Amazon and get yourself a 4-tier crown. Wear it around your house, because every woman at some point in their day does something another woman hasn't achieved yet, or a goal that they've worked on. And at the end of the day, they are their own queen. They are their own pinup queen.
Yeah. So, you kind of, like I said, you kind of took it right where I was trying to go with that. So, with that being said, for you've been in the business for, you lived this life forever, but you've been active in, I guess, the scene or the community for a while too. Have you seen, since you're kind of from like the outside looking into this, what are some of the most, this is just juicy scoop right here, but what is the most cattiest things you've seen while witnessing the pinup community?
All right, well, we're going to be very freaking honest really quick.
Okay, I like honest.
No, we're going to be honest, and I honestly don't care who tunes in and sees it and comes at me later. I am going to need you all, like, okay, I'm going to need you all to stop backbiting and on Facebook making incognito statuses about each other. Because I see it all, and I know where the narcissistic and passive-aggressive posts come from back and forth. I can pin them together. I can see it.
You're giving me all these, like, I'm like, oh my, I'm scared. I don't know who she's talking about, but she's coming for you.
I'm not pinpointing anybody out, because I've seen it happen every year from different people.
Okay.
Stop talking shit about each other, including when you all answer the same questions at pinup contests of, why do you want to be a part of this community? What's your biggest thing about being in the pinup? We're a sisterhood. You're not a sisterhood if you keep talking shit about each other.
I mean, she's not wrong. She's not wrong.
And I see it.
So I'm glad that you went that way because with me being new to the scene, I'm kind of like in the back and I'm kind of watching too. I probably
Hmm.
don't pick it up as well as you do just because I don't know all the players in the game, but I do see it. And
I
now,
see it from new girls too that enter in their first contest, like in certain regions. I see it too from new girls.
yeah, I kind of see. I haven't seen it so bad because I don't know if I just had like a really good experience so far, where I've come
Hmm.
across a lot of like I think genuine people. Yes,
Yes.
are there going to be some people that are not, and you kind of have to watch out for it?
Yes.
Yes. Um, I'm glad that I have a couple of really good ride or dies right now. Like I have Alicia and I have Valerie, and even yourself. You've given me some kind of some advice when like something's happening. Like I'm glad that I have people like that to kind of like give me a
Hmm.
little bit more insight because I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know who to like
And
kind of
I
watch
will
my back.
say, because you're so new, don't count on everybody yet as your main people.
Yeah,
You're going to meet so many people and genuine people, and the one person you don't think is going to be a ride or die ends up being that person.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, so to kind of move on to that, you kind of touch base on some of your nonprofit organizations.
Hmm.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we've been doing it for almost 10 years now. Our main goal is to bridge the funding gaps between the USO and VA hospitals of Wisconsin.
Okay.
Along with that, we also have our car show, which is for PTSD treatment. We go and visit. We do care package drives during the car show. And because my involvement with my husband and me knowing different people and my time I spent there within the military, when we find out there are deployed people from Wisconsin, we send care packages. Sad
Oh,
right now because with Corona, we can't because like mailing issues and stuff going back and forth through different areas and regions. We actually use that time to donate it to the different police stations around here so they could give it to people who needed welfare checks or older people of the community who cannot get out there.
right.
So that's what we did.
And
Um,
give me the name of that one more time so we can hear it.
Party Girls Pinups Inc.
All right. So if you guys are out there and you're listening, and this is a very good organization. I actually am a little bit familiar with that just because I'm actually trying to participate in one of her pinup contests. So I kind of educated myself on it a little bit because when I enter a contest, I kind of want to know what it's about. So honestly, it is a very, very, very good cause. They do focus on military families, but as you just said, that they will go out to the community itself. That's one thing I do. I have to give a little bit of a props with the whole entire pinup community. That is one thing that does kind of like stand out to me with a lot of these organizations. A lot of these women are very charitable. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
them are willing to, even when they don't have much, they still are willing to give away if they got $2, they're willing to give away one. So it's like that is one thing that I personally really like about the community. Um, so with Knuckles here, she is right along with that mindset to she wants to give back, she wants to be active in that way.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to give her a little bit of a shout out too because she also is one of those people that if you're going through something, she will pretty much drop what she has going on to make sure that she can be supportive of someone. I'm not going to say what just recently happened with one of a fellow pinup, but it was health related stuff, and she felt as though it was more important to kind of be there to support this person than even doing her own thing that she needed to get done because that is just the kind of people that she is. So I did just want to kind of put that out there, like I said, without using names and what the situation was. That's something
Yeah.
I personally witnessed from her because we were dealing with each other trying to get this interview scheduled and stuff like that. And she had to cancel, but it was for a very like sweet reason, like for why she did it. So I did want to just put that out there that I feel like you're a good apple here, Honey Bunch. So I appreciate that.
I try to be.
Even with all the attitude, I love it. She's
I
like,
try to
she's
be.
even. I just love it. I'm trying not to giggle when she does it because I'm just like, I love it. I love it. But as we have a lot of similar ways that we think and like do things, so that's fun. So we talked about the nonprofit, which is called Party Girls Pinup Inc., which I'm going to have her give me a couple of flyers or something to show her organization just in case anybody wants to participate. But then she also has a business of her own that she runs. And what's the name of that?
Oh, surprise parties. I run them, like I said, it's more like a franchise. It's surprise parties, and it's another business that is for women, by women, helping women. We do have things that cater to men, but we sell corsets, lingerie, and in all sizes. Like you got a 42H, I can fit you. Like I can,
yeah, I wish I would have known you when I had a 42 Triple H. I would have called you. I would have been like, girl, you gotta
I've got my tape measure. I do it. I've gone to Nashville Boogie. I have had my stuff there. It's another thing that just makes me feel good because when a woman is like, I can't wear anything. Right. And I'm like, is that a challenge? Oh, is that a challenge? And the best feeling is watching these ladies come back later wearing their corset and just having a little bit more of a hip sway to them, and their chins up a little higher. Like that's my best feeling with that. We also do CBD. We were ahead of our time when we started our CBD lines.
I have some chapstick from it, and I love it. I don't know.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I do. I got it when I went in the Home Sweet Home. I got like a little chapstick, and I have like a cream. I haven't used the cream yet, but I did use the lip balm. And
the travel purse CBD. Yeah.
So I can personally vouch for that. They do, like when I was first using it, I was like to have it on my lips because I do participate in 420 a little bit. So that was kind of interesting. So, but yeah, it was really nice. It had like a good scent to it. It was nice. So
and it's definitely double. I'm all about multi-purpose. Like we have one product that not only is like it's amazing for moisturizer, like it's an after shower moisturizer, but it's got carnation oil. So like I use it all summer because the gnats, mosquitoes, like I live in the woods. So I need it. Otherwise I'm going to be looking like a freak of like something was sucking on my neck or my face.
Oh, wow. So does that actually like repel like the insects that want to be around you kind of?
Yes, because it's got carnation oil in it. But then I totally love it because when I got into this, my daughter was quite young. I had other friends with young kids, and it takes markers off of walls. I'm just going to throw it out there in crayons. So I'm use. That's why like our CBD products are so great. They're so amazing. But there's a lot of things. Like if you like to go get dermabrasion, you can take the CBD oil in and have it on your face. So then it regenerates. It helps that out. I personally use our CBD serum on my feet because I'm a girl who likes to wear heels. I don't know if you can see my heels back there. One of my favorite pairs.
I love them, but they look like they would be killing your feet. Yes.
Right, and I like it. I like wearing those talls of heels. I don't know if it's because all my years of dance and point shoes that my arches are just overextended, but you put that on your feet, you're going to be wearing it. You're going to be wearing your shoes because I'm an advocate of like, you need to marry your shoes when you put them on. You know, including when like I go out with like the military kids and I'm seeing girls walking down downtown Milwaukee on Brady Street on the cobblestone with one shoe on and really.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm interested in that oil that you're talking about because I just found out that I have stupid gout. So like I have a lot of like So now I have a lot of feet issues that are starting that I never had to deal with before. So that might be something I want to take a little gander at. So and like I said, same thing with her nonprofit. She will also put out her website for that. So that you guys can kind of check that out. See, maybe you can get some Bomb Chickawama lingerie going.
Oh, and then we even got things that buzz in the night.
You're talking my language now.
Hit me up. I can tell you.
I'm just saying. We'll have to talk off camera. Wink, 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 wink. Off camera. So we did talk in the very beginning how I was very proud to say how she is the only woman ran car show in Wisconsin, and she's been doing it for 6 years strong. I'm excited because I might be able to get to actually be there just to witness it. I'm going to be there regardless, just to be there to witness it. But to actually be behind the scenes and kind of see it, that would be amazing too. is the Lady of Liberty pinup contest that's been happening every year.
Mhm.
How long has that been running?
This is our 5th year. Lady of Liberty is our 5th year.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I've got an amazing subboard kind of the nonprofit that helps me with it. So I can work on the internal stuff within the nonprofit. They do an amazing job. It is fun. There'll be some fun fun little things that happen. I'm not gonna let everything go, but my EMCs are the best. Kat Hollister, who helps me as well and as a stage kitten, is amazing. Misdemeanors handed down her crown this year, so it'll be a very fun time.
I've been watching all the little videos that your past winners have been doing, and it's been so cute to just watch them like do their little speech. You just put up a makeup challenge brush for some of them that were in it.
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
Cute. Yeah, that was super cute. I like anything that promotes women, like anything that's like empowering women, promotes women. I mean, not that guys are not important. Don't text me later and be like, what about the guys? We love you too, but you guys have been running things for a very long time. So it's nice that that women are stepping up and bringing a stage and spotlight to other women to allow them to have a place to shine and have a place to feel like they belong. So this is really cool. There was a question on Lady Liberty that
Yes.
I just love the question. Share the question that it was.
Which question was it? I mean,
I want to say it was the one about the post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, we do have a question, and it kind of goes with, what does PTSD mean?
Right.
And it is a very good question, because I think PTSD does mean a lot of things. It's just not military. Mm-hmm. But when we were talking about the military community, it is very interesting to see those questions and how people respond to them. Yeah. I don't read everything until later because it's all blind judging. So I just put them in contestants 1, 2, 3 format and so on and so forth. And then they get shipped off to my blind judges for the top 12 to complete. And then usually I read them afterwards while I'm putting them in my little folders every year, just so I know who somebody is when I see like a question or a name pop up on my screen.
I know because I've entered, a lot of them got canceled, but I entered and got into a few other contests.
We were.
I know. Strong. That's why I'm like, I'm like, please don't let the next ones be canceled. But when I got to that one, because I've answered so many questions, when I got to that one, it was just more like, wow. Like this is important, and not just it's important just because it's military, but like you said, it means so much to just people who don't even realize that they're suffering through this, because it sometimes gets lost in the fact that people just want to keep on moving, keep on trucking, keep on living their lives, and they don't even want to recognize that they're suffering from this, because to them it's just life.
Right.
It's not the fact that they have a condition.
Yeah. I mean, the question basically, like I said, goes around, what does PTSD, why do we need to help out with the PTSD community within veterans? I don't even think people realize, everybody talks about 22 a day. We have surpassed that number. We have. I mean, everybody talks about the stigma of 22 a day, but nobody realized that we have totally gone above that.
Right.
And it's not even veterans. It is one service member a day while serving also does succumbs to PTSD.
Yeah.
I belong to a lot of different veteran communities throughout the states, where if we have a green alert, which is a veteran suffering from PTSD, I am circulating those even on my Wisconsin pages, because I don't know where somebody is on my Wisconsin page. It's not just, Jane Doe from Wisconsin. It could be, John Smith in Kentucky, and that's where we're looking for somebody. So we try to circulate the stuff. We try to do wellness visits at VA communities and VA places, VA hospitals and housing units. We try to do wellness checks throughout there. It's kind of sad because we're not doing it right now because of everything happening.
Yeah.
So I like to continuously check in on my veteran friends during this time, including those who do not have outlets. Okay. Including because a lot of people can't go into their normal therapy appointments right now at the VA because of Corona.
Do you have any personal ties to a particular incident or story or person who suffered this and did not have a good outcome?
I have had a few um, that have shook me, or what do the kids say? Shooketh. It shooketh me, but it has shaken me quite a bit, quite a few. And just for personal reasons, I am not going to go into them because um, some of them are still here. So I would not, those who are not here, I rather be more sympathetic to the family than use it to try to get some type of likes on my Facebook page. I just
No, I don't think you'll get likes.
no, and I know that.
I kind of wanted to know if this is also another reason why you're so passionate, because maybe it's affected you personally more so than not.
I mean, my grandfather was in World War II. You know, the joke was don't wake him up from sleeping. But there are stories, and you hear stories daily. Something I'm trying to work on is actually going to state legislation soon to talk about PTSD on the other side of not a veteran telling their story, but what we see in the community and deal with it when veterans don't reach out for help.
Right.
So I've been working on that with some incidences like veterans that I know personally who started self-medicating during quarantine with not only alcohol, but actually started using drugs. And
Right.
I am the person that does drop all and answer the phone at 3 a.m. if someone calls me.
Yeah.
And then I'm just up for the day and that's it. And I keep working. But I just think it's something that needs to be done, because if you wouldn't want your own parent or grandparent or husband to go through it, then we need to start working as a community to make sure the whole community doesn't go through it.
Right. Right. No.
The more we start taking an approach and not, I almost feel like veterans get their dues after suffering with PTSD.
Right.
Then we rather sit there and talk about like, oh, I don't know how it happened. I didn't know. I didn't see the signs. Well, if we start educating ourselves, then maybe we can stop it on a whole as a community or as the United States or just us as Americans. If we start educating, I mean, push-ups can only do so much, okay? The 22 push-up challenge can only do so much.
Right.
You have to start looking in within the community because there are triggers for them. There are things that happen. Fireworks is like, you know, a simple one is fireworks.
Right.
Or just seeing something within the community that triggers them.
Yeah.
And unless we start figuring it out, like we've all seen the movies, but if we start educating ourselves and not just being that thing you scroll down on social media, maybe we can just start making it just a little bit better.
Right.
Even
Yeah,
if it's small, it's still a small step.
I always say it's some of the biggest movements start with a small step. So
Yeah.
I commend you. That's why I wanted to give you the platform right now to kind of talk about it, because I felt somewhere deep down that this is something that is not just like, oh, I volunteer to do this. I felt like this might be something that just touches you.
No, and I'll be first. The reason I started this is because I took a friend to the VA hospital. My husband and I did, and she had to go in for some medical emergency. But we were sitting there, and there was a gentleman wheeled in from the Vietnam War, and he was going through such a difficult time. And when the nurses were taking him back to check him in, he was just bawling because he didn't want to leave his family, but he needed the help.
Yeah.
And that's when that was a squirrel. I'm sorry. Like a little crazy here in the woods. But, you know, it was something that just clicked in my head that was like, this isn't okay.
No. Yeah.
It's not okay until someone's name is on a headstone. It's not okay not to pick up on the signs and that.
So basically, you, Caitlyn, you just want to bring so much more awareness to it because it's just not talked about. I feel like it's still kind of taboo. I feel like it's still like something
It
that
is.
you just don't talk about now.
Yeah, it definitely is. That's the reason the car show, when I took it over, went and changed to PTSD, because the story of the car show and how as it came to be mine when I
And name the car show,
took it
because I don't
over.
think we've ever said
It's
the name of it.
Nino's Red, White, and Troops.
Very good.
It was known as Nino's at first, and it was because Nino's uncle started it. And when he started it, it was to go with Parents of Murdered Children's organization. And Nino died due to an issue at a party. I never got to see high school graduation, anything. And they were having a very hard time towards the end of the car show, just keeping it up, doing everything. I will honestly say my last year at their car show before I took it over, there was only like 10 cars. So when I was developing the car show, I ended up getting a phone call from Nino's father. And his father said his best friend, Corey, just succumbed to PTSD. And so I took Nino's memory and Corey's memory, and I just merged it into Nino's Red, White, and Troops.
That's such a beautiful story.
And it's been like that. And, we're rocking it. We're doing really well. I'm kind of a little apprehensive this year, not because of Corona, just because there's not many car shows. So I'm already looking at do I have to ask this person if I could use their lot in case?
Because it might go bigger than it needs to be.
Well, no, it can close out. I don't care. It can close out the lot. I mean, every year, this year, what we're trying to do with the money is to see if we can, the VA passed this bill within it about actually training PTSD animals. So we came up with the idea of what if we could pay for at least 10 veterans to have their animals trained.
Oh, that's awesome.
With the money we raised this year. So
that's awesome.
Yes, we have to cover our overhead projections like any other normal nonprofit. Yes, we raise money throughout the year to do things and put on these events. But the car show is basically our main, what can we do within the community for PTSD?
Yeah. Well, I'll have her also give me some flyers and stuff like that to attach to here so that when we do put the video out, you guys can get a little bit more information, even if you're not able to join the car show. And
we have a whole spectator lot that you can park in.
I was going to say, even if you can't even show up that weekend, there's still ways that you guys can participate and help if this is something that has touched your life personally, or if this is just something that you feel strongly about. There are places that you have outlets to kind of help and put your 2 cents in if you want to be part of this. So I'll put that at the end too. So now we've come to the part, my favorite part, where I allow each girl to give their pearl of wisdom. Hello. I've been waiting. I didn't even let her tell me beforehand because I was like, I want to be just as surprised.
My pearl of wisdom may be a little lanky, but I'm going to go by something that was taught to my mother. My grandmother taught us as well, and is you are no better than anybody else, but you are no less than anybody else.
I like it.
So never come off with you're the shit attitude. You do not know what somebody is dealing with, and your interaction with them could be the thing that changes their day. And, basically what also goes in that is my daughter has her own pearl of wisdom, and that is she can't do it anymore because Corona, and we don't let her go to the stores with us. So she's getting a little bit of independence happening now. She'd rather sit in the car. But her thing is when we are at a store, it doesn't matter if it's our checkout clerk, doesn't matter if she sees a woman in the store or a gentleman or a veteran, she goes to give them a compliment because in her eyes, a compliment could change somebody's day.
Oh my God.
So I may be raising one hellish little kid, but she has a heart of gold and she understands it than most adults.
That's awesome.
And basically just don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. Don't bully anybody. Don't be mean. And always look about it as thought process. Think twice. Say it in your head twice before you open your mouth.
Yep. Think before you speak.
Yep. Just.
I love it. That is something I live by. I tell people all the time that it's not giving someone a smile doesn't cost you a thing. Just smiling at someone and saying, "How are you? Good morning." But just the little things. That person could have been going home that day to try to commit suicide. But you stopping them and saying, "You know what? I really like that outfit that you have on today. You look very lovely." that can actually change the whole projection of how they were going to finish out their day, because they might have
Yeah,
a little bit of hope that, okay, maybe the world isn't such a sucky place. Maybe it's not so bad.
it's
So,
not. There's always an upside to everything.
yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much,
No
Caitlyn.
problem.
This has been such a pleasure. Once again, please join us for Lady Liberty, July 12th, 2020. Fingers crossed that nothing happens before then. And if you guys are interested in participating in any of the fundraisers that she spoke of today, please either drop me a line on this YouTube video or even find us on Facebook. Like I said, I will have some Facebook stuff up there for you guys if you want to contact, if you want to be part of like the packages that they make for the soldiers, or if you want to be part of
Or even if you have a soldier deployed,
right.
send him my way. I will send him something.
Oh, yeah. So if you even have somebody that you have out there that you would like her to be to like do something nice for, give them a nice little bright smile, then also contact her. But for right now, we're all just going to try to help each other, love each other, and be there for each other. And if we can start doing that a little bit more often than not, I feel like we could make a change. So thank you, Caitlyn, for your kind
No
words,
problem.
for being here. Don't hang up. I'm going to talk to you a little bit after we get done. But for you guys out there, if you have not already, please put like, subscribe, and I'll be in with another pinup hopefully in the near future. All right, bye.